Hello and welcome back to the Sunburst Cup. This is day 2 of the group stage. We have Five Nights at Freddy's versus RQ Anomaly, and thankfully, I am not alone. I have been graced by the presence of Frosty. How are you doing, Frost?
I am doing fantastically, thank you. This is a fantastic photo of me. I approve. I did send it through. I wasn't sure if it was going to be used, but it was. So here we are.
We might not have cameras, but we've presented as well as we can.
Yeah. This is very representative of my daily attire.
You dress like this every single day.
This is every single day.
You are dressed like this right now. If we turned your camera on, we would see this.
This is
shades
exactly
and the hat and everything.
Yes, backwards, obviously.
Obviously, why would you wear a hat forwards? What would it be for? To cover your eyes? No.
That's what the sunglasses are for.
It's all fashion. It's all for fashion.
Yeah, let's get into the game today. You said Five Nights at Freddy's versus RQ Anomaly. It looks like the first map is going to be Ilias, but we'll get to that later. At the start, let's bring up the team rosters here.
Yeah, so on the one hand, we have Five Nights at Freddy's, who are the currently highest ranked team in this tournament. They won the most recent COWZA competition, the Elephant Crown, coming first out of a very, very closely contested top 3. We had Five Nights at Freddy's first, we had Inglorious Blasters second, and we had Pink Salamanders third. Those teams all beating each other in a sort of spiral of death, with Five Nights at Freddy's coming first only on map differential. So a very, very close at the top between those 3 teams. We then had Anomaly being the 4th ranked team, just missing out on that top 3. So this is maybe an opportunity for Anomaly to try push their way into that top 3, that very, very close triangle of death that is the top 3. Anomaly want to be part of that.
Yeah, Anomaly would love to be part of it, taking it from like a rock paper scissors to a rock paper scissors lizard Spock, perchance.
Absolutely.
Niche reference, hopefully. So we did have the was it Five Nights team up on the screen there. Hopefully people could read because we didn't say any of the names. But yeah.
We see the Anomaly team, and the Anomaly team is the team we expect to see. It's no changes on their side, and much like the Five Nights team as well that we just saw, no changes there from the roster that we expect. So we have 2 solid teams that we would expect to have a nice head-to-head. Five Nights having a bit more of a chaotic style, a bit more of a deathmatch style of composition, whereas Anomaly are more structured in their approach to things. They like to play compositions with set functions and purposes, and they play those to execute those win conditions quite nicely. How that interaction plays out, we're going to see today, but it is an old head-to-head, the clash of styles of, chaos versus organization, and whichever team comes out ahead after that. Yes,
as you said. So there is one change there. So unfortunately, you've now been immediately proved wrong, which means everything you say from here on out is just incorrect.
Nothing
there is a
right
sub.
Anyway.
There's a sub for 5K. Jesper Swag will not be playing today. In their place is Mito.
Okay.
Mito, which is interesting to me. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but Jesper is quite. He's more of a projectile player, whereas Mito is more of a hit scan player.
So yes, Jesper Swag is absolutely a projectile player. We saw a lot of his Pharah in the past. But Mito is a bit more of a jack of all trades. Okay. So comparing those 2 players, I think it is, if we're honest, a bit of a downgrade in just projectile DPS. Mito's strength is his flexibility. He can play everything to a level, maybe not to the heights of some other more specialized players, but he can play everything to a very, very good level across all 3 roles. If you were to put him on support, he would perform. If you were to put him on tank, he would also perform.
Right, so you're saying if you're talking in like the specifics of what each player can do.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a Pharah player, Jesper is. I'm just placating the Mito fans in chat. Make sure you don't get cancelled. I'm trying to help out.
But Mito has had a very effective Pharah in the past. He's played a lot of roles across a lot of teams in the past. So we'll see how he fits into the Five Nights teams. Again, he also fits into that organized chaos kind of structure that Five Nights are known for. Anomaly, on the other hand, they don't have any of these problems. They have this structure that they thrive upon, where they'd like to play things in a certain way. That we have seen a bit of struggle in the past when they play against the kind of organized chaos deathmatch style compositions that teams like Five Nights like to throw at them, and it'll be interesting to see if Anomaly have adapted in the past, if they learned from their mistakes in the past and are able to now bring the organization and the structure where they want to in these chaotic fights.
Yeah, I suppose part of their whole thing is to try and force the other team to play into their strengths, which I mean is kind of how any team works. You can't only rely on reacting well. You have to force the other team to play your game.
No, if we see Five Nights making composition swaps, Anomaly are doing their job well. I think that's
exactly. Yeah, and even still, like if they make composition swaps, what we want to see from Anomaly is adapting their playstyle, because Anomaly is not very well known for swapping their characters unless it's pretty hard counted. So I think even then you'd be hard pressed to get them to change off what they chose for that map. So we want to see a change up of style, more than a change of characters. So it'll be very very cool to see how each team adapts to the other's playstyles. And as you said, Anomaly are like out here not with something to prove, but they want to show that they're not like the fourth team, which to me they're not. But it's on paper that is unfortunately what it says.
I mean, it's a respectable position, fourth.
Fantastic.
It's not bad.
No.
Yeah, we're going to be going into map 1 now, which will be Ilios. Ilios has a bit more of a favor. I think that's more favored towards Five Nights, if we're honest. We've seen a lot of Doomfist out of Stalker. We've seen these aggressive kind of compositions that Five Nights like to play. I think this is a map that would favor Five Nights, if we're honest, which makes sense as they picked it. They are the higher ranked seed and they pick at first pick. We'll see how Anomaly, what picks they decide, how they decide to play this map. But as it stands, we should expect a good performance here out of Five Nights with this being their map pick.
You would expect, and I think this, especially with no Jesper, obviously drops it down a little bit, but like this, I would argue is probably one of the better Pharah map pool of all the general maps. And obviously there's 3 maps and all different, but I, as a Pharah player myself, loved Ilios. So that's my own personal preference here. But let's look at the compositions here. We've got, as you said, a pretty explosive comp coming out from Five Nights. Running the Zen damage, Genji damage,
as
Lucio to get in their face. So.
Damn it! That, swapping off the Zenyatta onto the Kiriko, but it's actually 2 fairly well structured team compositions we have here. Less of the chaos that we were expecting from Five Nights. I'm not sure. So like we'll see. There's damage burst from Five Nights where it's more controlled and like rolled from RQ. As we'll see a bit of pressure being put down here by Lord of Terran, just forcing them back. Combining well with BTS fan over here, takes a lot of damage and has the recall already forced as Mito takes out Rest, so that's a lot of the speed gone from RQ Anomaly right now. Looks like they're trying to trade out Smiley as much as they can, looking at the Genji as well, hunting them down but unable to claim that as Ichigo takes off KK with the body shot. We will see Terran falling so low, having none of those supports, and it does look like RQ have lost this the first fight. Yeah, they have that pick onto Restioson was enough for the win. It's difficult with the pressure that Five Nights putting out in the backline. We saw Restioson die first, and we saw KK die second. At that point, the fight is over. They Anomaly want to be a bit more aggressive, and like you said, they were trying to force out Smiley, and they need to put pressure, equal pressure that we saw going onto Anomaly. They want to put that same pressure back onto the backline of Five Nights, but also there's this threat of this Widowmaker sitting quite safe in the backline, just picking off and doing constant damage. We're seeing the pressure onto Lord of Terrans as he goes down to Coco fan.
I mean, you're not fighting without a tank. Well, having said that, I was gonna say, thank you for bringing up the Widowmaker, that BTS fans should probably focus more on Ichigo as opposed to that Kiriko. I say that it takes them out, and that's just part for the course, really. It looks like they're actually going to cap this as well, unless they bring it back here. And despite losing Terran at the start of that fight, they won it out, and they managed to claim the Baby Diva.
They got the Baby Diva before the remake. So, that's a nice shot onto KK.
What a shot!
No one can hide from
it was a good turnaround. You know, they lost a lot of Terrans early, but they managed to turn it around and actually win the fight. That's a very good fight, considering also they didn't use that many resources. They still have all their ults coming back online. It's gonna be an ugly ult fight here from both sides. They're gonna dump ults into this.
Yeah, that Kiriko ult is just so strong off the rip. The Kiriko does end up going down, but Mito manages to trade out in the Genji. The one ult that they did have online, that pulse bomb was used to take out Stalker, which is a massive win here for the side of RQ. Mito will respond by pulling out the Dragon Blade, using half of it to go get a health pack there. So well pressured there from the side of RQ, and forcing them all the way back here. I'm not so sure if this ult was necessary from Terran, but he really wants that Widowmaker dead, and by God will he get him.
Got value there out of it, as if he survives, he stays alive. That is good worth. We saw a swap now that we didn't mention in the last fight. Stalker has gone off of the D.Va and onto the Doomfist, which is something we inevitably expect with Stalker. Also now another swap coming out, no more Widowmaker and onto the Trojan. Trojan very strong in this patch of the game. But the way that Anomaly are playing this is exactly how we want to see them playing this. They're thriving on their organization and they're executing nice dives here onto this backline.
Yeah, no, I agree. And as you said, yes, Stalker, well known for never playing the Doomfist in his life. We do love to see that here. I was about to say that the blade is online now for Rinku Herrera, who will pull it out as soon as I'm about to say that, alongside with the Kiriko ulti, which just means his swings are so fast, including with the new patch update where it is already faster. So now it looks like a lot of pressure onto Stalker here, who has managed to survive for quite a long time. Will be taken out now by the Frog. And it looks like RQ are going to clean this up here. Smiley, not too long for this world as they take it up all the way to
I don't think they get touch. I don't think they get touch.
Yeah.
That was really nice play. We saw an aggressive, nice fight there from Anomaly with they engaged with that Kitsune Blade. Blade, not the strongest at the moment, but when combined with another ult like Kitsune, we saw a nice response out of Smiley with the sound barrier to try and protect her team. But just the entire Kitsune Blade slashing away at Quaco Fan, and that pick was enough, and then it kind of snowballed out of control for Five Nights, and that is a good early start for Anomaly. This is the kind of tone they want to set for this series.
Yeah, it is. I mean, as you said, they weren't playing the chaotic comp that we were expecting, but they were still forced to make changes. You know, RQ played the exact same comp the entire way through. I mean, there was no real reason for them to change anything. They were winning off it. I do see there was Quick decided that they put shots.
It's a very greedy composition. It's kill them before they can kill you. You know, Stalker's not going to have any healing basically aside from an orb and some amps healing out of the Lucio. But at the same time, they have the Discord, which is so strong and it'll make Lord of Terran's life pain. You can see how much pressure he's already under.
Yeah, I mean, you also saw how quickly he backed off there when they saw the Zen. Yeah, he's like, let me back up a little bit there. Very well disciplined there, and manages to get the fight win pretty confidently. Only rest going down there at the end to Sojin, but that's pretty fine.
Yeah, we saw there. This is where the greed of that Lucio Zenyatta comes in, because if you can kill them before they can kill you, you're fine. But we saw a really nice execution on a dive from Anomaly, and we saw immediately the Zenyatta and the Lucio fall, which then at that point the fight is over. Now we have Anomaly with positional advantage, but Rest is going low here, and Rest and Link will fall, trading for Mito, and there we see. Maybe the Kiriko was the right choice.
Maybe, yeah. Picking up 3 kills through that fight there. Quick Fan putting the team on his back there almost. And yeah, I think is what goes back to what you said there. It's just the greed there. The Zen really can't do anything, especially into a well-coordinated dive comp, which I mean is what RQ do. That's their whole spiel.
You have to land every shot.
Which he did. So
Yeah. Well, after he swapped to Kiriko.
yeah, okay, so you're talking about the Zen. Okay, gotcha.
But we'll see a bit of go down now.
Yeah, that was interesting though, because they did back out, and they must have just gone straight back into it without that almost a shadow step, but the Kiri step through the wall. We will see Stalker is going to push everyone back with that Primal Rage, and in the meantime, Terry just decided to ignore the monkey. What are you going to do against the Primal Winston as a Winston? Very quick turnaround fight there. Everyone just ignored Stalker and went for the rest of the team.
That was really good, and actually we saw they forced point. We saw, I think it might have been a BTS fan just forcing point, forcing the Five Nights at Freddy's to come back and fight in a position they really didn't want to. And then, like you say, they ignored Stalker's Primal Rage, killed the people they needed to kill, and that early pick onto Quaco Fan, we saw him do really well, but then we also saw him die early, so it's maybe a bit of feast and famine there. Now we're going to have an ugly fight from the side of Anomaly, maybe, as they have 5 ults on their side.
How do you? I mean, I'm going to rely on like a big mistake here from RQ like that to actually get those. Like I was going to say, you can't really lose with 5 ults here. But yeah, we will see a trade out. So no Genjis on the field. That's a lot of damage from that Sojourn E there. But the tempo control here from RQ, despite losing the fight, they are draining down this clock here, and the coordination is insane. Their calling just looks like it's absolutely on point.
Yeah, it's actually, I think they're going to clean up and they win here. They've staggered their ults nicely. They didn't get the Link probably went a bit too far with that blade, and there was a good response beat out of Smiley. And then after Link died, they backed up nicely, and then they forced resources out of Five Nights and Freddy's. And we're looking at last fight here. Five Nights and Freddy's do have ults to use, but they're in a dangerous position here. If Anomaly can get a good beat, this might be it for Five Nights and Freddy's.
Yeah, I'm also querying these...
it's an Ajax.
Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, you were talking about a good blade. They got it, and they didn't have to expend anything else. Oh, shame. Rest just got dove on there. The poor guy.
Yeah, it's not a good fight for Anomaly, as they used both their ults that fight that they had, and they didn't get anything out of it. It was only the blade. For a naked blade to get that much value, that's not a great sign for Anomaly. They do have time on their hand, but Five Nights at Freddy's have lots of ults too. They can time out, they can space out, and they can probably bring this home if they can organize this fight nicely.
Yeah, I think Anomaly should have just had that as a dry fight the last time there. Would have probably been the better call. But yeah, we will see this ripping the head off of Terran and the body off of Rest, admittedly. But a combination of everyone there. I was wondering how the overclock would actually give value, because there's no one really to aim for. But it turns out if you put the gun in their mouth, it works.
Yeah, the age-old strategy of click them in the head. Now we're seeing a dangerous thing though, because this is last fight and Anomaly have no ults on their side. Five Nights still have that beat, they have the Kitsune Rush, and they have the Primal, so Stalker's not going to die. He has Primal to keep him alive. Early Kitsune is used though, trading Smiley for KK, and it looks like Five Nights are taking this. That's all the picks with that Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, I think a Kiri for a Lucio is a trade you'll take any day. And if Terran can get... Terran's got the ult. Okay, Terran can stall this for a bit of time if he manages to get onto the point. Yeah, that'll be a good bit of work here, just allowing the team hopefully to come back. Oh, no! Oof. I thought Smiley is just making Terran's life absolute hell here, but he's done so well to stay alive. And now his supports are back, supports are dead, but they did really, really well to stall this. I thought this was looking really good for RQ, and it might still be. Here comes a blade, here comes a beat. There is still time. There is still kills.
Oh, they're turning it around, maybe. Oh,
RQ pulled this back.
Easy. Quickly finds gone into the Moira to get the touch. The Pulse Bomb comes out and gets Rest. Ooh.
Come on, BTS, but
Anomaly
it's just
don't
you.
have control of the point. It's the Tracer. BTS fan has been easy. Can anyone touch from the side of Five Nights? Stalker maybe. No. Anomaly take map 1. They turned it around off some impressive stalling from the side of RQ Anomaly and Terran, and then they came back in with that beat and that blade. If they had the power of K-pop there. That
was the real winner.
That was the K-pop is the winner at the end of the day, isn't it? That was. I think that was better from the side of Five Nights, but this is a very, very good sign for the series if this is how Anomaly can play.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I was surprised it took the Tracers so long to die, because I think both of them were on like 1 HP, so they both probably just ran for their respective health packs. And in the end, BTS fan managing to close that out there.
Yeah.
Called it a Tracer diff? Probably not. It was maybe one clip diff.
I mean, BTS fans did also have sound barrier. I can't. I don't think if sound barrier hadn't gone off in that fight, if we'd seen unfortunately another Ajax, I don't think Rinko Herrera is going to get the value out of his blade, because he can't push as far as he wants to.
Yeah.
Then he doesn't get the pick onto Mito. He doesn't do the damage that he does, and then we don't see those resources being drained out of Five Nights. Our next map we're going to go to is King's Row. Interesting pick from the side of Five Nights. Wasn't expecting that, if I'm perfectly honest, because we see this organized chaos that they love, and King's Row is a map we traditionally associate with brawl compositions and with structured play, and that's something that Anomaly love to do. However, this being a new patch, everything's a bit up in the air. And compositions can work in lots of different situations. This is also a map that, on first point in particular, if you're defending, it can be very, very strong for hit scans on the high ground. So maybe that's something that maybe that's something that Five Knights want to lean into, just dominating the high ground around first point.
I was going to say, it's good that you mentioned up in the air, because I think that's probably where Five Knights would like to take it. I think they'd like to... That was good. They'd like to bring out potentially the Pharah / Echo, just to put extra pressure on, the defense of RQ, who are going to start on the defense this time. So they are going to want to put a lot of pressure, I think, onto the supports, try and force them to different angles, to different there, and not allow Terran to get those coordinated dives off if they will be playing the monkey.
Yeah, the deciding factor here is which backline really is going to be in the way that Overwatch is at the moment. If your backline is dying early, or your DPS is dying early, or anyone is dying early, really, it's not a good sign. And we saw those nice dives on the side of Anomaly they were getting value. Sometimes they traded, but often they were trading 1 for 2. Like Link died, but he got value and then enabled BTS Fan and Terran to get to. On the other hand, Five Knights on that first round of control, they were doing that sort of, and then they on the second round of control that we saw, again, once they had control and they actually executed those dives, we saw that better execution and those trades that were coming out, and the picks onto the backline. Like we saw KK dying a couple of times, but often it was too little too late. There was good dives on the side of Anomaly that were getting more value than Five Knights dives. This is a very, very different head-to-head now, though, as we're seeing both teams lining up with Ramatra. Bit more of a brawly style here. BTS Fan on the Mei might be a deciding factor here, because being able to isolate Stalker and kill him would be huge. We're seeing a different also heads up. We're having the Ana on the side of Anomaly, and we're having the Baptiste on the side of Five Knights. Sleep Dart and Anti-Nade are huge still, so if KK can get value out of the Anti-Nades and the Sleep Darts, it might be a bit difficult for Five Knights. Five Knights do have the Bastion though, so more raw damage on the side of Five Knights, but maybe more combinations on the side of Anomaly.
Yeah, I was going to say there, what it looks like they're trying to do is isolate Stalker, is what RQ's thing is, whereas Five Knights just wanted, face punch you, which they have done. Mito takes out Rinkaru straight off the rip, Ichigo takes off BTS Fan's head, and now they're just going to walk in. Anti-Nade does come out onto Stalker, but I don't think he really cares,
No.
as he just walks straight into their spawn, and the supports die around him.
No, that was a bit of a misplay, actually, from the side of Anomaly, who... when Stalker looked to go through Hotel to make that rotation, they all responded and looked at Stalker and tried to punish him for that rotation. The problem was that the DPS of Five Knights took the other rotation around the point and actually opened up that angle to a huge degree, and then they got picks out of it. So no one on the side of Anomaly really watching their flank, which then meant Five Knights took that fight very easily with that positional play. So that was actually quite nice from the side of Five Knights.
Yeah. Scouted out now by Rinkaru. He knows where they are. Will they be forced off? It doesn't look like it just yet. I'm surprised by that. Still up on the high ground is Stalker. And actually I think will be punished for it. Walled off here by a really weird off angle from Mei. How did he get over that? What? Okay.
Yeah, they punched it. They shot it.
Well, he looked like he went on top though. Maybe I'm just blind. Who knows? We'll see Terran being forced back here, and a lot of damage coming into him there. And that is the benefit you get from that Bastion. And yeah, that is just so much damage that can't be responded there. Mito didn't even need to use the tank form, which he brings out now, and absolutely melts RQ.
This is the problem that I think Terran is facing. Is there's so much damage in his face. He's got the Sojin and he's got the Bastion to contend with, and it's also there's less raw healing from the side of Anomaly. Anomaly have the friendly nade. You don't really want to be using your nade on your own tank. You want to be trying to get a value on both the anti and the friendly at the same time. But what can Terran do in that situation, facing a window and a railgun? Yeah,
and I think possibly my thing here is I don't think Rinko Herrera is getting the value that he wants with this Hanzo. No. Still only on 84% to that ult means that the shots are just not landing. Potentially looking to get up to that ult if the shots start landing. Otherwise, I think a switch is probably the best call here.
switch, but the question is, what will they switch to? I think the Mei was a good choice, but they weren't really playing to the. Maybe they just needed to reset and actually go again. I don't think the Mei was the worst choice here.
Yeah.
But it's dangerous now because we're seeing a lot of ults. We're finally seeing those ults coming online. We're seeing the Dragon Blade, but Five Nights have a lot of ults on their own. We're gonna see the Nano Annihilation, and we're seeing Artillery Strike. Artillery Strike doesn't get any value. Oh, that's so much damage on a Nano boosted Ramatra. But he goes down.
I thought you were saying so much damage on him. I was like, yeah, I'm surprised he's dying.
He's taking a lot of damage.
He sure is. Yeah, KK tries their best to die on cart there, just stalled it out a little bit, and yeah, it looks like stall will be the name of the game here. I'm very interested to see how long Terran's health pool lasts here with the flanking bastion. There comes that first iteration of the Dragon Blade. Just stalling it out here a bit, but a very good disengage now from Five Nights. They just pull back, they don't fall into the trap of all the damage, and that looks like them just cleaning up the round.
Yeah, that was a very, very one-sided display. Five Nights really dominated. I think you're right with the compositional issues were just the sheer amount of damage with that Bastion that Anomaly were facing was too much. And it was worrying then when we saw Anomaly playing these combinations. They had the Anno and the Ramatra, and they were going for that nano-boosted Annihilation. But it got nothing. And when your big ult, fight-winning, game-winning ult combination gets nothing, that's worrying, especially when you're not winning any of the neutral fights. Every single neutral fight went to the way of Five Nights at Freddy's. So a very, very good response after the first map from Five Nights. There was much better cohesion, I think, much better game plan going into the fights. It'll be interesting to see if we see any kind of swaps now. If Anomaly, they have this set strategy and it didn't work, are we going to see them change anything?
Yeah, I do agree with something you said earlier, is that I don't think the Mei needed to change there, because what it meant with the Mei changing is that both the DPS are now, not backline DPS, but they're not in-your-face DPS, right? And the way that Terran looks like he's wanting to play is very much in your face, right? And it's going to make his life very difficult. He's playing in your face into an in-your-face comp without
into a Bastion
in your face. I've said that word by like 16 times. Take a shot for every time I say it. But
early,
yes,
myself.
But it's past 12. It's fine.
Fair enough.
We encourage day drinking. We don't. Please don't do that.
Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly. Yeah, not for self.
Yeah, we were talking smack about Link, and then he gets a nice pick up onto the Sojourn, onto Ichigo.
Yeah. Before I got distracted, I was going to say we need him to start not pulling his weight. That sounds really rude. That's not what I mean. But we do need Rico Rero to come alive, and that is exactly what you want from your Hanzo. I mean, he's already at more ult charge than he was, I think, 2 minutes into the previous round. So this is looking a lot better.
That's a nice anti there, and with the Sojourn field, that's a very nice combination. It was obvious that that Five Nights were going to re-engage there after that early pick that they lost, and that was a really nice response to the re-engage from Anomaly. We're going to get the late pick off onto Ichigo again. So hopefully, maybe these teams just can't defend. Who knows?
Maybe it's going to be one of those rounds like, remember old 2CP where you just ended up with like 14 minutes on the clock because both teams just couldn't defend?
Normally we'll end this with 4 minutes and 17 seconds, then we'll go to round 3, into round 4, to round 5.
Does it still reduce? I think it does reduce.
Yes, it does reduce.
It does down to 2 minutes, right? The lowest team has 2 minutes, or the highest team. I can't remember which one.
Oh, Link almost getting picked there.
Taken down to a nice amount of health there.
Very nice.
Very nice. This is some good pressure though from RQ and Five Nights. They're playing this space here.
Early lamp there. I don't know if anyone on Anomaly even saw that, but if they could abuse this fact now, they've lost lamp, which is Stalker very, very vulnerable if they decide to engage. Link's going down. I don't think they notice, or they don't win the position to take advantage of that. Strange.
It was a bait. It was a bait. They baited them with the early lamp, forced them to walk in, only to annihilate them with the Bastion. Very, very clever from Five Nights at Freddy's. Giga brain plays.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. But we've got a lot of ults now on the side of Anomaly. They're going to have their Dragon, which maybe they can close off an angle with. They're going to have their big combo coming online soon, the Nano-boosted Annihilation. Alternatively, they could also Nano-boost the Railguns. That could also be a good combination. Ichigo, I don't think Link sees him here. Link is unaware. They've seen each other now. And Link is going to give up on that fight. He's going to Dragon Strike. And they get a lot of value on. They used 5 ults though. Ooh.
That is an unfortunate failure in communication there from RQ, because, you know, you probably really didn't need to use more than 3 COWZA watch. Yep, no, Terran is aware of the error that they just made, and now they're going to have to push aggressive to make sure that they actually get to second point.
If Five Nights touch here, they win this fight with the ults that they have. They have to really stop this touch happening.
And they did.
They do. Okay, that's good. So I think we're expecting now Five Nights to win these next probably 2 or 3 fights. But at least Anomaly capped. When you say that, still going down, so not the worst.
Anomaly capped, BTS fan decapped. Looking good for Five Nights.
Yeah, this is not a great situation for Anomaly. At least, I mean, maybe teams can't defend. They do have 4 and almost 5 minutes to fight out on this, but that ult economy is going to be worrying. So we're really only expecting a good fight out of them, maybe at the 3-minute mark. Artillery strike comes in and gets value.
I was gonna say KK looks to be in a slight bit of trouble here. I never even considered the Hanzo, you know, with the dash away. Maybe didn't see that there was another one behind him. Happens. But yeah, look at this aggressive positioning from Five Nights. And that'll go straight into the fight here, and that's going to be a suffering of all the players there. KK is doing well to keep everyone alive. Rinker does end up falling, and that is going to be of the actually, that's one of the ults.
Actually, all things considered, if they could maybe respawn quickly and regroup quickly, having the picks that they had, no, they got the pick onto Smiley, he'll be there soon. The Frog is back in action already.
Already back, yeah.
But now we're seeing hopefully some of these Anomaly ults. This is what we predicted, you know. It's going to take 2 or 3 fights for Anomaly to bring back those ults after that 5 ult fight, and here we're seeing that Five Nights at Freddy's throwing ults out, using the beat, using the railguns, and now only we're seeing the ults coming online. Restiosen is going to have his beat now. Maybe, hopefully, we won't see another 5 ult fight from the side of Anomaly. But I mean, I leave nothing. I don't trust these teams at all.
Well, something you might not have noticed there is we have seen Rico finally picking up on that Bastion. So we will see a direct head-to-head here, okay, aside from the supports, and I still respect the Ana as opposed to the Baptiste. We will see them coming through here. Very aggressive position, very effective positioning from Mito over here. Still not being able to be pushed out here, which is really good. It means that if they walk onto Stalker as they are now, they're just going to get shredded from the high ground there. Good shielding, though, from Lord of Terran. Kind of puts the Bastion out of action there. And that is going to be them forcing the Baptiste and not killing him, unfortunately. This is a big fight, and it looks like Terran's going to press Q again? Question mark?
I think he might. Yes, there it is. He's going to keep himself alive with it as well. But that positional advantage of Five Nights at Freddy's is coming in. Ichigo stopped to the Widowmaker, and Mito had already gotten the kill. They had the ults, but they didn't have the positioning for it. They needed to force out those people on high ground, or rotate in a way that those people on high ground became irrelevant. It was possible maybe they could have flipped the map, but that was difficult given the position that this Bastion is holding onto. I think they might need to just go through high ground and force them out.
No, I think that is definitely the call, and that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah, no, they know, they realize they're not they're not noobs. Smiley getting very aggressive there, and I'm surprised he didn't get punished for that. The person who did get punished, the Widowmaker punished a Bastion on King's Row. Now this is something I have not seen.
It was just a final blow. There was a lot of damage out of the Sojin from the field. A lot of them were doing damage to that Bastion because he's the only one who was really in the open.
Oh my!
Poking heads out. We see the projectile size increase helping there as Terran turned around the corner.
Shoot next to the head, still hits the head. Nice.
Yep.
We love it.
Now we have a lot of ults on the side of Anomaly, and again they're going to clear this rotation on high ground. Wise decision. But this again could be an ugly fight. They really have to win this fight now, because if they don't, they're not going to have time to cap. They do get a pick on Smiley, which is good, especially because Smiley had beat. But they have not capitalized on this. We're seeing a lot of ults from both sides now.
Yeah, that is 2 ults. I mean, admittedly, Bastion is not necessarily, it's just a nice thing for repositioning. Mito has once again claimed this high ground position. We see KK does challenge them, not managing to get the kill just yet, and that beat is going to mean that it's almost impossible for her to do that. Smiley does end up getting the kill there. A little bit of Terran managing to take out Quick Fan, but I think that's going to be a little bit too late. And now we're starting to look at, are RQ going to cap with any time? if they
Are
do.
they going to cap it all?
Yeah.
They don't have any ults to use. The closest ult they're going to have is Annihilation, which they haven't had the most success using anyway. And on the other hand, Mito has his artillery strike soon. Stalker has his Annihilation as well. It's questionable if there's going to be any kind of success here. I think this is why Five Nights just giving them space, letting them into their kill zone, and then I think we're going to see Stalker engage very, very aggressively, probably in combination. Mito putting the artillery strike behind them while Stalker runs at them from the front.
Yeah, and then Mito is still unchecked. They still don't know where he is, and he's going to come at them from the back while everyone's looking again at Stalker. Okay, now they do. They turn on him. They turn it. That is a very good kill. Finally taking out the Bastion. But now that does mean it gets that Stalker getting on them. And that's just the power of having all the ults there. It's the power of good positioning. That's well played by Five Nights.
Yeah, and Five Nights will take the second map, taking us to 1-1. Very dominant display there from Five Nights at Freddy, so I'm justifying that map pick on their behalf. Maybe this is a new look to Five Nights that we haven't seen before. This aggressive brawl style composition, because I don't think I stand to be corrected, but I don't think we've ever seen this kind of composition from the side of Five Nights.
Yeah, no, I as you said, maybe it's they're playing to, like, you know, the strength of the players they have. Maybe that's they don't have Jesper, who does play those very explosive heroes. Maybe they're Mito being more of like a we can change it up a bit. You know, I'm not I'm happy to do whatever. And maybe this is something they've been looking at trying. Maybe. It's maybe.
We know Mito has a strange hero pool. He's one of the, you know, Junkrat, Bastion, Roadhog players. Doomfist, it's the strange hero pool. So a patch with Bastion being strong,
the ranked menace.
Yeah, the we haven't seen Mito in a while, so it's interesting having him back playing in any kind of team structure. But let's move it to Anomaly, because that was worrying for Anomaly, because we saw a really nice display of aggression and dive on Ilios. Yes. And now we saw, excuse my pun, Annihilation. Annihilation from Five Nights at Freddy's, and Anomaly really didn't have a response. They capped second point, and at the end it goes down as a 3-2 win for Five Nights. But Anomaly didn't win a fight on their defense. And the only fights they were winning on their attack was where they got a nice pick from one of their DPS, and where they used 5 ults.
I was gonna say, don't you dare say the only fight they won was with 5 ults, because that's that would have been rude. No,
that wouldn't have been true. That wouldn't have been true. They won 3-4 fights on that attack, but it was always when they had overwhelming superiority in either numbers or ults, and that wasn't the case on the first map where they were winning even fights.
Yes. And sometimes even fights where they were down.
Yeah.
So maybe it's they are maybe more of a dive-focused team. That is where their strength lies. But they're definitely not known. Well, I don't think them to be slouches on brawl comps. You know, I think, especially for a team that kind of relies on, not when I say standard, I don't mean boring. I mean structured is the better word. Thank you. Structured gameplay, and you think Brawl is probably the most structured you can possibly get to. We will see what they've got now going into Dorado, another dive map, which is probably why they picked it.
Maybe.
It makes sense. So maybe they'll have a little bit more luck on this. I'm interested to see what Five Nights brings out here, because I'm fairly confident we can what RQ are going to bring out. My guess is Genji, Lucio, Monkey, the Kiriko, and possibly a Tracer.
Maybe a Surgeon.
Maybe an Echo. Maybe a Song. Maybe a Surgeon. Is my guess.
I have Five Nights to a bit more, because we saw them having success there on a Brawl composition, so maybe they play a Brawl composition. It's not impossible to play Brawl on this point, it's just more difficult. It is more possible to start on the defense, but I think we're going to see them playing some kind of dive. We're going to see the Monkey, we're going to see the Ana. This is really what you expect on this kind of map. Interestingly, we're going to have Restioson on the Brigitte, which is
I back that.
Not the strongest hero at the moment, but can work. The DPS passive affects her a lot because she wants to be damaging people, and then to proc her Inspire, but then she suffers from that new DPS passive a lot because she's much easier to kill. She doesn't have that survivability that she used to in the past. We're going to see
Speaking
a
of
very
damage.
aggressive backline from the side of Five Nights, though, with Smiley going on to the Zenyatta. So Ana Zenyatta from the side of Five Nights, which again is one of these greedy compositions where if the backline of Five Nights Freddy's is uncontested, and that Discord can stay up, Terran is in for a bad time. But if BTS Fan and Link and Terran can get aggression onto that backline and punish maybe positional mistakes or cooldown mistakes, maybe a good bubble, that backline can really, really suffer.
They've identified the supports. They're going straight for the Smiley is in for a world of pain. Already taken out. Rinkaroo does get traded out though, but oh, a nice sleep there. And that looks like forced recall at the very least. No, a death. A death. That is a very good backing up there of the supports by Ichigo. KK is doing quite well to stay alive and is still that way. Does manage to get cleaved there by Stalker.
Yeah, so a bit of a back and forth fight there, some trades from both sides, but in the end it goes over to Five Nights. Some good picks there. We saw Smiley going down early, but then on the other hand, we also saw, Babs getting slept and Resiosin going down as well. Stalker's looking kind of low, but he should be fine. He goes back to his supports. No ults yet on the side here, neutral fight still, but Anomaly have to contest soon because they're running out of time here.
Quick fan just patting himself on the back there for that previous sleep, which did annihilate BTS.
Yeah, if only he could look after his Zenyatta though, because the Zenyatta falls very quickly without his help.
Yeah, maybe too much time spent typing there. As we will see, Lord of Terran not managing to get slept there by Quick fan. All the sleeps used up in the last part, unfortunately, and being very salty. Oh wow. It was deflected. Wow, I mean, they still could have died for it, but yeah, well done there by Mito, denying that there. And I'm starting to see what you mean about this Brigitte here with that reduction in healing. It just doesn't seem to be as hard to break through as it used to be.
No, the Brig suffers to the dive. We're going to see swaps though. Smiley has given up on the Zenyatta and gone over to the Lucio. I think it's a good swap considering when you're playing this Ana Zen, we spoke out how it's a greedy backline, but the Ana really has to be looking after the Zen. In a way, the Zenyatta is almost a tank. The Ana has to be looking after the Zenyatta because you want to be keeping that Discord up. And, we saw Koke fan patting himself on the back, but also, if we're going to say he did something well, we have to say he did something badly, and he did not look after Smiley on the Zenyatta at all.
Yeah.
But the TPS managed to get the value that they needed to win.
Yeah. Speaking of a bit of damage, the Stalker is looking quite unhealthy, but the Nano, Anti coming across there from Quick Fan, doesn't matter, but the Anas get traded out, and as of right now, I'd say RQ are in a better spot, but that does mean that they don't have any healing. Terran is trying to fight a Lucio alongside BTS Fan, so maybe a bit of damage coming through here. I will say they're going to run away, unable to run away. Sniper Monkey.
Back and forth fight though, trading both sides. Terran gets the primal. We've seen this before. He can stall. We know this. And with the low HP pools of both sides, might be something that they can get value on. He has already picked up a Smiley, and I think they're just going to go with the nano blade to try to close it out. And indeed, they're going to get value, and that's a good fight win from the side of Anomaly. That gives them time to stabilize. We see that Five Nights do have ult in his hand, but now Anomaly importantly have this massive positional advantage of they can control high ground. So if Anomaly can play this well, they can neutralize the ult advantage from the side of Five Nights. Something to worry about though is the blade. We've seen that get value. There is no nano boost on the side of Five Nights though, so maybe Anomaly can shut this down. We are going to see a rally coming on the side of Anomaly, which still is a very, very powerful ult, and can maybe shut down this blade and the railguns.
Yeah, as I said, the Nano was used the previous fight, and then they decided maybe to not blade. They wouldn't think they were going to get it there. No rally is going to be committed here, and both supports are going to be down on the back of that blade. That is fantastic work there between Mito and Stalker. Terran is going to drop down to stall this out. Will might get a kill into Mito, does get a kill into Mito, so that's pretty powerful, and still has actually a lot of health.
He has a lot of, I think he is going to die, but he is stalled a lot. The one worry that, yes, he stalled a lot, but also it means he's not going to be able to re-engage on the next fight. Yeah, so Anomaly are going to be engaging as 4 effectively. Link might be able to get a touch. I think they will get a contest, but they'll be giving up a lot of time that they wouldn't like to. I think next fight we're going to see Railguns and the Beat combined on the side of Five Nights. Beat will really just keep them alive, allow the Sojourn the time she needs to get the value. AK is going to go down. That's a bad start from the side of Anomaly. Both supports going down.
that rally just got melted through. Ichigo getting 3 shots in a row there. That'll seal the deal. But yeah, as you said, maybe it would have been better had Terran not died at the end of that previous fight. It is what it is. And now it looks like they are going to group up here. Restioson is just not having a good time with this Brigitte.
No. It's Brig is I'd like to see them swap. Oh, the field gets value. That's worrying for Anomaly. Now they don't have a great start. That's not a good position to be caught out in. They're now going to be able to push all the side, and actually, Anomaly, who should have high ground here, being the defenders, Five Knights have the high ground. They have the positional advantage, and now they still have the ult advantage. They have Stalker can survive very, very deep with this primal, and they're going to have their nano boost online very, very soon.
Yeah, and this is a really good dive though from Terran and BTS fan. Quick fan does go down, but is traded for Restioson, who will be back a lot quicker than the Ana. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it matters. Oh, this just looks like a really good, an ult fight from Five Knights, and even before the ults were pulled out, they were already winning this. Terran is going to respond with a primal of their own, but I'm not sure if they're going to manage to get the fight win here. Stalker is really low and does die. Okay, that is fantastic work there from the RQ, but the respond blade from Mito is just, I think, all that they need. Are they just not going to cap? Or they just decide they don't want to? Okay.
I don't think they realized. They saw the kill and they got the red mist descended, and it was it was winnable there for a moment for Anomaly when Stalker went down, but then it was a good blade in response used by Mito. And he picked up the value that he needed. I think I would have liked to see that compositional swap a lot sooner from the side of Anomaly. We spoke at the beginning, before the game started, how Anomaly don't swap maybe as soon as they should. It's one of their weaknesses, that where it takes them some time to figure out what they need to do.
So can I quickly interrupt you there? It's just the cart doing a bit of a cosplay of how to finish there for Five Knights, just in case they were watching. When they watch the replay back, this is what you do, guys.
The cart was doing a little dance. It was entertaining us. It's gonna upload it to TikTok later.
Yeah, for sure.
I would have liked to see the swap coming from Restioson and KK a lot sooner, I think, because KK was kind of okay on the Ana, but the Brigitte just wasn't getting the value. The Brig was dying early or not giving the value that Brig should be giving. This isn't old Brig, this is a new patch, and Brig is unfortunately one of the sufferers of this patch. So I think this comp that we're seeing now with the Brigitte, without the Brigitte, is, I think, the right approach for them. A vastly different comp from the side of Five Knights, who are going to put more of their eggs into the Sojourn. They've decided to pick up the Mercy, lose the Lucio. So Stalker won't be able to be in and out as quickly, but the Sojourn is going to be a lot stronger with that damage boost. They're going to have the solidity though with the side of Mito on the Torbjorn. That turret should give a bit of protection to Coco fan. But that being said, it's a good rotation from Anomaly, who are going to look to dive very aggressively.
Terran backed up quite a lot more than I think he should have there, but now straight back into the action. Quick fan is going to go down, or should go down, let's say here, and does eventually. Good follow up there, and now they're going to focus on Smiley, and that's a good kill there. Good follow up here for Rinkero, doing exactly what a Genji should do, and now it's just going to be left up to Stalker to survive. The cart hasn't moved though, so this is not a major loss for Five Knights.
It's I think immediately what we've seen is Smiley giving up on the Mercy and gone over to Lucio. I think
that's a good call.
That's the correct call. We saw, I think, unfortunately for Five Knights, their comp was the worst decision they could have made in hindsight, given what Anomaly were playing. Anomaly played it perfectly, playing very aggressive onto their backline. Their backline was much weaker with the Mercy without that Lucio. So now we've seen their swap. I think that's the correct decision. And now we're seeing the mirror that we saw in the first map. There's no Genji from the side of Five Knights, but they have that Torbjorn. They're trading though. Stalker goes down. That's a good trade for Anomaly.
Yeah, that is definitely a trade up for the side of Anomaly. A nice anti onto Terran, which means they kind of even it back up. Now, are the rest of RQ going to stay and fight? It does look like they are. Mito on a little bit of an off angle here. Picks up the kill with the best aim. It's in the backline? How did it get there, and how wasn't it cleared?
How did no one kill it?
Huh?
There's 1 HP.
was Mito like up top and just like threw it behind? He must have. That's the only logical explanation.
Possibly. Unfortunately, we didn't see that.
Yeah.
Now this raises questions for Anomaly though. They're gonna have their ults coming online. Please, Anomaly, do me a favor. Please, I beg of you, do not use all your ults at once. Please. I know you
That only
can win
happened
this
once.
fight.
That only happened once. Cut them some slack. That only happened
Okay,
once.
but please, I beg of you. It's a good rotation here they're doing. They can get onto this backline. They can win this fight without using all their ults. They've already forced out nade from Quaco fan, so now's their time, and they push well onto it with only the Kitsune. This is good for Anomaly. This is what we want to see from them.
This is a very good fight. I kind of wish Babs hadn't ulted here, or BTS fan should I say? But I think it's okay. I think that was good enough to clean up the fight a bit quicker, and I think they should cap first of this.
They should be able to cap with that win now. That's a really good fight. They listened to me. They could hear me. They didn't use all their ults, and they kept the blade. They kept the primal, and importantly, they kept the beat. Oh, but they're gonna get the touch, the nano boost. I think the beat has to come out now.
It has to. It would be ill-advised not to. I think already you might be a bit late on it, but I mean, yeah, they do bring it out in the end. It does look like Stalker is kind of on an island right now. Smiley is doing her damnedest to keep everyone alive, and is actually doing a fantastic job. Has the beat of her own now, and that's going to be a big boon now for the side of Five Nights. Rinko Herrero goes down to the Torbjorn, his absolute nemesis at this point in time. They look like they are going to dive onto the anti-dive character. The Stalker just creates an absolute menace of himself, jumping around the payload, gets the ult off, and now he's going to chase BTS fan. Cap in the back. Oh, no, okay, no, there is someone on the point. Get it. Come on.
Get him.
Do the juggle cosplay. Get him.
Do it for all the monkeys. Sniper monkey. It's sniper monkey time. Get him.
You can do this. Yes. The Kovacs finally paying off there for Stalker.
That fight was really the tale of two beats.
Yeah.
We saw Five Nights recontested really well with a lot of strength with that nano boosted railguns, and then I think Restion had to beat sooner because the railguns got value and there was the pick, and then they were down one, and then the fight was awkward for them. On the other hand, Smiley held on to the beat patiently and actually stalled out long enough, and that was the sustain they needed. And now, Anomaly are in a bad place. Terran dies with the Primal, now KK dies as well. This is last fight. It's looking like Five Nights are going to take this.
No, how did it fall apart so quickly? RQ were looking so good there. I was so positive about their momentum. I thought they were going to cap that. And unfortunately, it just fell apart here. That's really unfortunate for the side of RQ.
That recontest fight was played perfectly by Five Nights.
Yeah.
Maybe you think misplayed. Okay, I said don't use all your ults in one fight, but I think of those three ults they had when Five Nights recontested, they had to use something. We saw a nano boosted railguns coming at them. They need to respond in some way. They have to look to get value of their own. They didn't, and then they suffered because of that. It's a nice play here we see at the end there from Mita. Yeah, and then when Five Nights, apologies, when Anomaly did stabilize and looked like they could have, turned the fight in their favor, then we saw the really nice speed coming out of Smiley, and that then was over at that point. And that was in the stabilization from Five Nights, and then
I think that
Terran going down there at the end with his primal, that was also maybe just a bit of lag or a bit of just like
input latency. We were playing in South Africa, it's a tough time out here.
It's possible. I'm sure he's fuming that I pressed Q, but unfortunately the game didn't read it, and he died with primal, which is very, very unfortunate, and they didn't get the value they needed.
Yeah, I think they're probably they thought they could finish that fight without that beat. They gambled on it. Unfortunately, they were wrong. But it is what it is. We move on to the next one. And speaking of moving on, we are going to move on to a quick 2-minute break here for production, and we will be right back into it.
welcome back to the Sunburst Cup game between Five Nights at Freddy's and RQ Anomaly. After a short break, we're back with Five Nights at Freddy's currently leading the series 2-1. We saw a nice start on map 1 from Anomaly, but Five Nights have stabilized and taken the lead now. Do we think this is something? Do you think Five Nights can close this out, or do you think Anomaly have it in them to bring this back?
And yeah, like, as you said now, and as we were discussing now over the short break, Anomaly started off very well. They started off winning neutral fights. They started winning fights when they were down even on that first map, and it looked really clean from them. And thereafter, Kings Row and now Dorado, it was the opposite, where Five Nights were winning all the neutral fights. Five Nights were winning all the fights where they were down one at the start. So it looks a lot like Five Nights have warmed into the game. And not to that RQ has declined, but it looks like they need to bring themselves kind of back into this, bring back the cohesiveness they had on Ilios, and really take it to Five Nights and not let them get into those aggressive spots and not let them make the plays that they are making. Yeah,
we saw there where Anomaly did do well. Like that last map, we saw them winning fights that they took really well, and then we saw them immediately not capitalizing.
Yeah,
we saw them letting Five Nights recontest that point really well, and then they didn't win that fight. That was pretty even. Like you said, they're losing these even fights. They're losing neutral fights, and they're losing even ult fights, which is worrying for Anomaly and something they need to work on. They need to figure out. Our next map here is going to be Esperanza, I believe. And it's a map where these dive compositions that we saw success from Anomaly, that can succeed. It's Brawl can succeed here as well, but I think it's likely that we're going to see more Monkey, that we're going to see more aggression style of compositions. I think that's good for Anomaly. I think that's probably why they chose this map. It's also worrying for them if Five Nights have woken up and they can carry on this trend that we've seen of the last two maps.
Yeah, and hopefully with this small break, we can get back into that for RQ Anomaly, should I say? And we'll see. Maybe the comms over the thing. We're like, yeah, it's okay. We're doing okay. It's a best of 5. They still can bring back. It wouldn't quite be a reverse sweep considering it's now 2-1.
Yeah, they did win.
Darren is definitely baiting me, and I'm not going to comment on it.
No, it's not going to happen. We know it's not going to happen. I'll mention it when he leaves spawn on it.
Yes.
One thing maybe we might see is the Lucio Zen from the side of Five Nights at Freddy's. That would be very interesting to see because we saw them running it briefly on another map, but they very quickly gave up on it. I think they might struggle. We're seeing the Queen from both sides. Almost the Torbjorn. It's interesting matchup. It'll come to small margins. Anomaly have more of a traditional kind of Queen composition, Queen Rush, but Five Nights have got that Zenyatta, which might make Terran struggle. Also, they have the Torbjorn, which is gonna get back. That's the strength of Zenyatta. Zenyatta is very strong here. If Anomaly can get onto this backline, Zenyatta will struggle. But if Zenyatta is free, it's gonna be a bad time for Anomaly.
Yeah. Anomaly cannot play scared. Is I think the key metric here, right? Anomaly have to take the fights into Five Nights face. They have to find the angles to get themselves in there. Speaking of getting aggressive in their face, Queequeg fan is not the person I would be expecting to do it. But this fight actually does highlight something that we did bring up between ourselves here. Rinku Herrera is dying a lot.
Yeah,
and it's something that needs to change.
He's a bit unlucky there. He got picked off by the
that's not his fault.
Right click from the Zenyatta, but it's something that he needs to work on. Is just having more sustain in these fights. Maybe trying to get onto that Zenyatta. It's a difficult ask. Zenyatta is very strong in this current patch. Very tanky. But they need to get onto this backline. Maybe this Torbjorn is punishable now. It's a good pull onto the Torbjorn. The Zenyatta is also in the backline, not on the high ground. This is a fight where they have the advantage. Doka is going to go down here, yeah. KK is going to go down as well, but Ichigo getting picks there onto people. I don't think they've noticed where he is yet.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they have the info as to where he is. And I questioned it initially, but I mean, listen, if you're going to hit shots like that, I can't really think that was a very good pull and a very good response there from them to get themselves back on the high ground. And that's single-handedly kind of just brought the fight back into the realm of possibility now for Five Nights.
Yeah, it's sort of a sideline that this Anomaly are finding difficult to contest with. No one can really get there.
It strikes so hard.
Restioson and Link Herrera really. Rest is desperately trying to heal his tank. Oh, Smiley might go down here. A good knife there.
Yes, good punish.
Ults are going to come out.
Okay, Stalker should also be not too long for this world. Now, that's a very unfortunately timed
late trance.
Trance, thank you. I was trying to think of the thing. Excuse me, I haven't played this game for about a year now. Trying my best to remember all the ability names.
What's the new hero do? Trust?
He shoots, as far as I'm aware.
Well done.
He shoots, he walks.
Oh, they found him. They found the little goblin.
Oh, that's a big punish.
The goblin has been defeated.
Yes. Goblin defeated. The other one, unfortunately, getting a kill.
Hiding in the corner, Mito. He likes to do that. We know he likes to take these strange angles, but oh, the stick! Oh, that was a nice stick onto the Zenyatta, and I think with that stick and with that find onto Mito, I think they should have that. That's a really nice fight win. That was really nice, really well scouted to find Mito hiding in the corner like that, and then that nice aggression onto the backline of Five Nights, which is what we want to see. Now, importantly, they're going to get the cap here, which is a massive short-term win for Anomaly. The butt scratch has been activated, and Five Nights now have to push all the way back to their own checkpoint. We're going to see a lot of ults coming online here, though.
Did Quick fan get down Mr. President Ichigo? Because I don't think that pulse bomb, if you saw, we were looking at Ichigo's perspective, right?
Potentially.
It wasn't aimed, I think, at the thing. Talking about that Zen now, I've been distracted, excuse me. Lord of Terran is going to go down by their hand, and Mito is going to claim 2 with the turret. Absolute goblin in the background.
The turret is out and ready to play. The most important player on the team. The turret has come and it has gone. No one. The early pick on the side of onto the KK was worrying, but not the worst situation for Anomaly, because yes, they did use resources, but so did Five Nights. They used both teams used beat, which is pretty impactful. But importantly, it's an okay fight for Anomaly to lose because they did get that cap onto the checkpoint. Link going very deep with the blade and gets value out of it.
Ichigo? Very strange place then to play off of there. It does look like they're in the chaos. Lord of Terran is going to get a couple of kills there, but Mito, once again, with a very odd turret placement, is going to claim another kill. And that was a very odd fight, very back and forth, but in the end, Five Nights do take it. I'm not sure if they get the cap yet, but that is a lot of progress for them.
Yeah, I think Anomaly might get the, especially with BTS fan, I think is alive, and he'll be able to get the contest. Yeah, he should be able to get the contest before the checkpoint. Anomaly really want to try to take this fight before the checkpoint. Then Five Nights can, they are going to get touched. Yeah, so important for Anomaly.
Kill the turret challenge.
Yeah, please, someone, Kaylee's going to die. Okay, Kay doesn't die.
Die to that turret. She had to burn the cleanse, though.
They did get the touch though, so it's not the worst, but no resources were forced out of Five Nights. It looks like Lord of Terran just wants to steal the point for a bit, and run away and just lose this fight while... Oh, okay, interesting trance. Maybe...
Very good trance. Very good trance, and an unfortunate miss on the cleave there from Lord of Terran means the Stalker gets to take him out while being completely invulnerable. Does Rinka get this kill here? Does it? Oh, not managed
so
to get
close.
it there.
Just needed the
but does manage to claim Mito? What? Where did that happen?
Not the worst, because I think now that Five Nights can get this checkpoint, so Anomaly will be looking to take a fight after checkpoint. The lead is very, very soon after the checkpoint, so they'll be trying to get the contest, but they do have the time because of the butt scratch that has been activated. Also, Anomaly are going to have ults coming up on their line. We saw that with the use of the trance, the stick onto Stalker, and Stalker's going to go down. That's a nice stick. They followed up on it. Restless's going to go down. Ichigo uncontested on the high ground is getting value. That's good to see from the side of Five Nights.
Not quite sure what that ult is for. You knew exactly where they were already, but yeah, that's another fight just won off some individual brilliance there from Ichigo. They really need to... I suppose it's kind of hard to contest this without a dive comp, right? Like, you can't send your DPS in by themselves against, both supports and the Widow, especially when Ichigo is picking up shots like that. But you do kind of need to do something to make the Widowmaker uncomfortable and not let them line up like this.
Now
Another one.
they're just getting staggered now. They need to stabilize. They have lost the lead now. Not the end of the world though, because they are still only just a little bit behind. But Anomaly need to be clearing high ground better. They can't be doing that. That's the Widowmaker's holding that sideline. You can't just walk into it. That's not good because now they're just it's another fight. They have to wait for regroups. They're gonna go in again and they're just walking into the sideline, which has been a common thread. Ichigo's landing the shots, sure, but Anomaly are not making it difficult for him.
Yeah, they're walking into the sideline there, and they do eventually take out Ichigo. This is a nice thing there. Torb will splooge all over the place, and it looks like, why are you here, Quick fan? Does get punished for it eventually. Smiley looks like she will be the next one there. Some really good target focus here on the side of RQ, and this is what we want from them. This is the strength that we see from this team. So if we can keep this up, after being staggered out there by, 2 spread apart kills from Ichigo, they managed to bring it back. Now, I really want to see where Ichigo is placed and if they manage to check him out.
I mean, they know where he is now. He took the shot. We do have ults on the side of Anomaly that could get a lot of value here. They probably need to win 2 fights to get the lead here. There aren't a lot of fights on the side of Five Nights. Ooh, Terran is going down. He does have his shout, so it should be okay. They're 4-star wins. This is good. Yes, the turret, let it kill the turret. The turret is down. It's now winnable for Anomaly.
You can actually see the benefit of this new buff on the Genji swing there, and good discipline by Rinku Herrera. They're deciding that's not worth going for the trade. We can rather just leave it. Mito does take out KK there, which is not ideal, but fortunately with Kiriko being able to walk through walls, she will be back fairly quickly.
If you're going to lose someone, it's okay to kind of lose the Kiriko. Mito did something clever there where he stole, having seen that the fight was lost, he stole the payload and ran as far away as possible to try give Five Nights some more time. KK should be back anytime soon. And Anomaly still have ult. They still have that beat, which is big for them. Stalker has his ult, which I think Restoration will be waiting to use his beat in response to the... Actually, no, never mind. He tries to keep Terran alive, but he doesn't manage it. That's the worst case scenario for Anomaly, who didn't get the lead, lost their tank, used their beat, used their Kitsune. Apologies, they used Kitsune in the previous fight. That was worst case scenario for that fight. And now Five Nights are going to come back in, and they still have that big ult fight. They still have the rush and the trance, which is worrying for Anomaly because they don't have a proper response to either of those tools.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a very rough fight here for Anomaly, and I think if I were to be able to recommend something to the players, it's like take it as early as possible. Try and see if you can force out some of those ults before the fight needs to happen in earnest. They've got themselves the checkpoint, have Five Nights, which means that they'll get the close spawns, which is a really big bonus for them, and they're happy to take the fight here.
This is also a worrying position though, because we've seen this is where Anomaly struggle to clear this high ground. We've already seen Ichigo uncontested on this high ground get value, so if Anomaly haven't learned their lesson and don't clear this high ground or don't pressure the Widowmaker, that could be it, with Ichigo's maybe getting 1 pick.
Yeah, just as the 1 pick. We have noticed they do seem to know where everyone is, but that's like Five Nights. I mean, RQ have to touch the point here, and Mito just made it really difficult. You absolute menace, whipping out the hammer, taking out a lot of Terrans, and that will be Five Nights closing out the series 3-1 against RQ Anomaly. I will say, I think RQ started to come back into that. They started to play some really nice, almost said hockey. Why? I haven't watched hockey in forever. But some really nice Overwatch. Some really nice Overwatch.
Of everything you could have gone to.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why that was my first thought. Anyway, some really nice Overwatch, but unfortunately, they were beaten out here by Five Nights.
Player of the game actually went to the turret there. Good job, turret.
Good job.
Yeah,
turret.
So Five Nights already take the series 3-1. I think the point where it started to change in that map, Anomaly started really well and they pushed it really, really nicely going past the checkpoint. But then there was that point when Five Nights had that high ground control and we saw 2, 3, 4 picks coming out from Ichigo, and he got those picks, and that kind of, I think, messed with Anomaly's rhythm. They didn't ever really stabilize from it. And it's unfortunate, but I think deserved winners from Five Nights in the end. Anomaly started very well, and then I don't think their performance did drop slightly, if we're honest. But I think the big difference was Five Nights' performance stepped up. Their performance on map 2, 3, and 4 was far better from their performance on map 1. So that's good to see from them that they can perform when they're under pressure.
Yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, as we've been saying the whole time, it does. At the end of the day, I think the Five Nights were the better team on the day. RQ, no slouches, currently keeping that look of like the 4th team, but still with plenty of time to prove themselves. This is their first loss out of 4 games, I think.
Yeah.
And
no, this is their 3rd game. This is their
third game. Their first loss. First 2 games, nice wins, convincing wins, 3-0s for that matter.
Well,
and
now.
I'm talking about Anomaly.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Anomaly, yes. So an Anomaly, first two games, 3-0s, very convincing wins. This is their first loss. Let's hope they can pick it up. Going into their 4th and 5th match, I think, or 4th and final match.
Yeah, 4th and final.
4th and final match.
And then remember, the competition isn't over with the end of the group stage. Sure, they'll be ranked, but then they have next weekend still the opportunity to perform. They will be able to play in the direct elimination, obviously, and I think it'll be nice if we can maybe see Anomaly and Five Nights go at it again in a later stage of the competition, maybe in an upper bracket semi-final or something like that, where maybe we can have these 2 teams slap it out again.
Yeah, and that would be really good to see, how they've adapted to what they've learned. Do RQ come back and win it, or maybe make it like a 3-2 with like the last point going down to overtime, or do Five Nights or do Five Nights go, okay, no, we've read you, this is it, GG 3-0. So there's plenty of options between those 2. Now that I think is just where the ends of the spectrum kind of are. I suppose the end of the spectrum is RQ 3-0ing Five Nights.
Yeah.
But like we're basing on this performance, yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a question for you, Frost, though.
Yes.
Standard question for the end of series like this. I know who my player of the game is. I have it already in my mind. I am not changing my mind, but I'm going to ask you, who is your player of the game?
See, now, unfortunately, for supports and standard Overwatch players who have been watching this game, I think it has to be Mito. For me, it has to be Mito.
I'm going to disagree. I understand why you would choose Mito. He did play quite well. We haven't seen him in a while, and we saw a range of heroes. We saw the Genji, and we saw the Torbjorn, and he performed very well on both of them. But my player of the game is going to go to Torbjorn's turret.
Okay, no, you're right. Sorry, there was a misstep on my part. I kind of lumped them together. You're 100% correct. It has to be the turret.
I think, I respect what Mito did, but I think the turret just edges it for me.
Quite a phrase.
I mean, you do you. I'm not going to judge.
Fair. But having said that, right, an actual point on that was the placement of Mito's turrets, and where he chose to position himself and the turret during the fight meant there was like constant crossfires, and that if RQ wanted to shoot the turret, they actually had to turn their back on Five Nights, which is actually good play. Like, I know we're memeing, but he did actually play it really well with the turret.
Yeah, it's true. All right, well, load shedding calls, and we have more games for you later on today. So be sure to tune in later into ZA Overwatch. You can follow everything that's happening in COWZA Overwatch at ZA Overwatch on Twitter. I am Fluffy, and I've been joined by the wonderful Frosty. Thank you for joining me and not leaving me alone again.
Let's say, to be fair, I did quite like the double pictures of you last time. It did give both your good sides.
My voice hasn't recovered from yesterday. The other person that we must mention is Peach, who has done the production for this. Thank you, at the Peach ZA on Twitter, if you want to follow him. He's done the wonderful production and doing everything behind the scenes, so thank you to him. Is there anyone else I'm forgetting? No?
The general COWZA community.
COWZA, I mean, you can follow COWZA at ZA Overwatch on Twitter. Also, the Discord is open to everyone, so if you do want to be involved in tournaments like this or community tournaments in the future, be sure to join up there. Or if you want to be a caster, or you want to play, or if you want to be involved in anything, just we're always open to more people being involved. But for now, we're gonna love and leave you as we have to go run away and prepare for the next game. So. This is Fluffy signing off. Frost, do you have any final words?
No, I think you've just about covered it. And thanks to everyone for joining in today. Final score: 5 Nights 3, RQ Anomaly 1, and that is it for the games. Join us again at 8 o'clock tonight.